Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 411, The Garden of Whispers, Intermediate. In a small village nestled between rolling hills, there was a garden, but this was no ordinary garden. It was known as the Garden of Whispers, a place where secrets were carried on the wind and love stories were said to bloom like flowers. One sunny afternoon, a young woman named Clara walked into the garden. She had heard stories about it all her life, but had never dared to visit. Clara was shy and quiet, spending most of her days working in the village bakery. She loved the smell of fresh bread and the warmth of the oven, but she often felt lonely. She dreamed of finding someone who would understand her, someone who would listen to her thoughts and share their own. As Clara stepped into the garden, she was greeted by the soft rustling of leaves and the sweet scent of roses. The air felt alive, as if it were whispering to her. She walked along the narrow path, her fingers brushing against the petals of flowers. Suddenly she heard a voice. "Hello," the voice called gently. Clara turned and saw a young man standing a few steps away. He had dark curly hair and kind brown eyes. He was holding his sketchbook and his hands were stained with charcoal. "I'm sorry if I startled you," he said with a warm smile. "I didn't think anyone else would be here today." Clara felt her cheeks grow warm. "No, it's all right. I didn't expect to see anyone either." The young man introduced himself as Daniel. He was an artist who had come to the village to paint the countryside. He had heard about the Garden of Whispers and wanted to capture its beauty on paper. "Would you like to see?" he asked, holding out his sketchbook. Clara nodded and stepped closer. The pages were filled with delicate drawings of flowers, trees, and the garden's winding paths. Each sketch was so detailed and full of life that Clara felt as if she were looking at the garden through Daniel's eyes. "These are beautiful," she said softly. Daniel smiled. "Thank you, but I think the garden is even more beautiful when there's someone in it." Clara looked up at him, surprised by his words. For the first time in a long while, she felt seen. Over the next few weeks, Clara and Daniel met in the garden every day. They talked about their dreams, their fears, and the little things that made them happy. Clara told Daniel about her love for baking, and he shared stories of his travels. They laughed together, and sometimes they sat in comfortable silence, listening to the whispers of the garden. One evening, as the sun was setting, Daniel took Clara's hand. "I have something to show you," he said. He led her to a hidden corner of the garden where a single rose bush grew. Its flowers were a deep, velvety red, and their petals seemed to glow in the fading light. "This is the heart's rose," Daniel explained. "They say it only blooms when two people truly understand each other." Clara's heart skipped a beat. She looked at Daniel and saw the same hope and affection in his eyes that she felt in her own heart. "Clara," Daniel said softly, "I feel like I've known you forever. You've brought so much light into my life. I think I'm falling in love with you." Tears filled Clara's eyes. She had never imagined that someone like Daniel could love someone like her. But as she looked at the heart's rose, she knew it was true. "I love you too," she whispered. From that day on, Clara and Daniel were inseparable. They spent their days exploring the garden, sharing their dreams and building a life together. The villagers often saw them walking hand in hand, their laughter echoing through the streets. And so, the Garden of Whispers became their special place, a symbol of their love and the secrets they shared. It was a reminder that even the quietest hearts can find their voice when they meet someone who truly listens. Vocabulary notes. Nestled, meaning to be situated in a quiet, sheltered or hidden place. Example: In a small village nestled between rolling hills, there was a garden. Similar words: tucked, sheltered, situated, located. Usage: the cottage was nestled among the trees, away from the noise of the city. Rustling, meaning a soft, muffled sound made by things like leaves, paper, or fabric moving gently. Example: she was greeted by the soft rustling of leaves and the sweet scent of roses. Similar words: whispering, swishing, murmuring, crackling. Usage: the rustling of the curtains in the breeze made the room feel peaceful. Startled, meaning to feel a sudden shock or surprise, often causing a quick physical reaction. Example: "I'm sorry if I startled you," he said with a warm smile. Similar words: shocked, surprised, alarmed, frightened. Usage: the loud noise startled the cat and it jumped off the chair. Delicate, meaning very fine, soft or light in a way that is beautiful or fragile. Example: the pages were filled with delicate drawings of flowers, trees, and the garden's winding paths. Similar words: fragile, fine, intricate, dainty. Usage: she wore a delicate necklace with a tiny silver pendant. Inseparable, meaning so close that it is hard to separate or imagine apart. Example: from that day on, Clara and Daniel were inseparable. Similar words: unbreakable, joined, attached, devoted. Usage: the two friends were inseparable, always seen together at school. Echoing, meaning a sound that repeats because it reflects off a surface or something that is repeated or remembered. Example: the villagers often saw them walking hand in hand, their laughter echoing through the streets. Similar words: resonating, reverberating, repeating, ringing. Usage: her words echoed in his mind long after she had left. Velvety, meaning soft and smooth like velvet. Example: its flowers were a deep velvety red and their petals seemed to glow in the fading light. Similar words: silky, smooth, soft, luxurious. Usage: the chocolate had a velvety texture that melted in her mouth. Affection, meaning a feeling of liking or caring for someone or something. Example: she looked at Daniel and saw the same hope and affection in his eyes that she felt in her own heart. Similar words: love, fondness, tenderness, warmth. Usage: he showed his affection by giving her a bouquet of flowers. Bloom, meaning when a flower opens up or when something develops or becomes more beautiful. Example: they say it only blooms when two people truly understand each other. Similar words: flourish, blossom, thrive, open. Usage: the roses in the garden began to bloom in the spring sunshine. Whisper, meaning to speak very quietly or a soft, quiet sound. Example: it was known as the Garden of Whispers, a place where secrets were carried on the wind. Similar words: murmur, mutter, breathe, rustle. Usage: she leaned closer to whisper a secret in his ear. Winding, meaning curving or twisting in shape or direction. Example: the pages were filled with delicate drawings of flowers, trees, and the garden's winding paths. Similar words: curving, twisting, meandering, serpentine. Usage: they followed the winding road up the mountain. Comfortable silence, meaning a quiet moment shared between people where no words are needed and it feels natural and peaceful. Example, they laughed together, and sometimes they sat in comfortable silence, listening to the whispers of the garden. Similar words: peaceful, quiet, easy stillness, relaxed quietness. Usage: they enjoyed a comfortable silence as they watched the sunset together. Story written by DeepSeek AI. Image created by Flux, Schnell, Black Forest Labs AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.
Hello, this is Steve. If you enjoyed the story, please would you take the time to leave a meaningful comment and click on the like icon. If you want to know when the next story has been uploaded, please click on the notify bell icon to be notified. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tell your English learning friends so they can benefit too. Thank you.